Picture this: three library staff members trapped inside the South Charleston Public Library. Aaron, Tobey, and Josh, each with divergent tastes, tasked with watching each other's films. Can they survive with their sanity intact? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Real Opposites. I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Tobey.
and we are back this episode to discuss actually my pick, me and you and everyone we know
Yeah.
from 2005.
20th anniversary of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll just start with a little bit. I mean, as far as this movie goes, I had seen it probably when it came out. If it didn't come out until 2005, then I guess I would have been like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
That area of time in my life, that high school, middle school, I loved a lot of independent stuff. That was just my favorite stuff to watch, other than horror. And I actually did watch a lot of movies back then.
I think a lot of high schoolers have that phase.
Yeah.
Independent movie phase. Yeah.
Well, I did find out because I was a little scared because I kind of got some vibes from y'all over the past week about this movie. So I was really scared on rewatch at how I would feel as an adult looking back on it.
Yeah.
And I still loved it.
Huh.
I absolutely love this movie. It is, to me, like the quintessential as far as independent that I liked. Not saying it is like the epitome of independent movies.
Yeah.
Just of the type I liked back then.
I mean, you're not alone. It has like an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it is Criterion film.
Yeah, and it's Criterion film. Like, people like it. I don't.
Yeah. So I'll talk more
Yeah.
afterwards, but I guess tell me what you thought.
So, this movie makes me want to go on a 16-minute George Carlin like rant/routine.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I hated this movie with a passion. This is the worst movie you have ever picked. I would
Whoa.
I would rather watch Crossroads.
You would watch Tammy again?
I think I would.
Oh, wow.
I think I would rather watch Tammy.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
This is it's like everything I hate about independent film is in this movie.
Okay.
It's self-important, pretentious slop. It's just ugly, and I hate the music, and I hate her face.
Oh my God. I love her face.
And like these, like there's so little like identifiable human characteristics in any of these characters. Like they don't act like human beings. They don't talk like human beings. They we mentioned like what this has 80-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like a Criterion. It's like one of those movies that like when people like just general audiences are like, oh, the critics don't know anything. This is the movie that they're thinking of in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have no idea what those people saw or what they think they saw. I feel like they went to, because this was like a big film festival kind of movie.
It was.
People go in and it's like, oh, this is so important and this is so daring. It's like, no, it's not. It's just garbage.
Okay.
It's just straight like It's really hard to form words at how much. I watched this movie twice too.
Oh.
Just to be like, maybe I was wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I despise this film.
I would like y'all to know that when I don't like your films, I definitely don't watch them twice.
Oh, well, we know.
That's how much I'm committed to this podcast.
Right.
I can't. It boggles my mind
Okay.
that this made any like that this exists. And somebody thought that this was something releasable.
Okay. I half expected that from you, but I didn't think you like Squid in the Whale. You didn't hate.
No, I liked Squid and the Whale.
Okay, so I thought maybe
Squid and the
liked
Whale
some
is the version of this
but-
movie that is good.
Right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So I like quirky independent movies.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Squid in the Well. I liked there's several I've seen, like Dakota Sky. I thought like this kind of movie is not like not in the wheelhouse of things that I would enjoy. I
Mhm.
didn't like this one. I felt like I was every single character was having some kind of manic break, and like nothing they did made sense
Yeah.
because of that. That's just it's how it felt. Uh Parts of the movie made me viscerally uncomfortable. The like pedophile subplot with the teenage girls
Yeah.
was a lot, and I felt unnecessary because it didn't really play into whatever I think the main plot of the movie was supposed to be. And that's the other thing. There's like a distinct lack of a main plot, and while I like movies that do things in vignettes, I feel like something has to feel like it's connected.
Yeah, because like you said, like it's just it feels like it's just disjointed scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and that scene with like the pedo guy and the two teenage girls is a great example of like what I was talking about, where it's like I've never heard anybody talk like that,
Yeah.
like the way that they are interacting.
Mhm.
They feel like mannequins that came to life or something. Like they don't feel like
The whole like
living, breathing human beings.
yeah,
I
I don't know. That bothered me. All of the like kids on the internet like sexting in the chat room and like
Yeah.
that. Yes, that's a thing that teenagers do, and there is
Mhm.
a way to do that well in a movie. This is not how you do that well in a
Eighth
movie.
grade is the way you do that. I
Yeah,
don't know if you've seen that
I
movie.
haven't.
It's a really great little movie. It's the movie this wants to be, like what it wants to say.
Hmm.
That's a really really good little movie.
Like, I mean, like kids do that, and that's fair. Like, you want
Yeah.
to include that, that's fine. But like, I don't feel like it's done well. I also don't feel like while those scenes are creepy and do make me uncomfortable, it's not. They don't make me uncomfortable because they make me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable because it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Does that
It
make
does.
sense?
It doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense, but it's also it doesn't like it doesn't feel like it's trying to make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that bothers me on some level. And also like Miranda July, apparently I was reading about some of her other films, uses that plot device pretty often.
She wrote Kajillionaire.
She
Yeah.
did, which I was surprised to read. I like that movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. But like her that she uses that a lot, and it's like, well, there's a good way to handle children in situations outside of their age group, and I
Yeah.
don't think this was it. Like that just I don't know. If it made me feel icky.
Yeah, I don't. The way the guy is, the way I don't know, just the way he talks and the way he acts like some like little kid sometimes
Yeah.
too. It's just like what? Because the first scene you see with him with John Hawkes and they're like in
It's
the,
normal.
it's just like a normal guy,
Right.
and then all of a sudden like he's acting like some big baby. Like
Mhm.
he's a big guy and he's just like hiding behind the window and has like this like infantile look on his face.
Mhm.
Um, it's I just hated this movie. This movie is like a so like if you go into an art gallery, or something, and there's some multimedia presentation,
Sure.
like you'll go into a room and there'll be something playing on a projector or on
Mhm.
TV, and there's like these awkward sounds or whatever, and it maybe it'll be like a tone poem or something, visual tone poem, and it's like so just pretentious and like self-important, and and some people will come out and they'll go, oh, that's really important, that's really daring. It's like it's not, it's just
Yeah.
Well,
it's
and
just, it's just stupid.
I also feel like the fact that you had to, and then maybe like I don't think I'm dense. I'm usually pretty good at like visual literacy. I'm pretty good at reading into like what something is meant to mean.
Yeah.
I think when you walk away from this movie and you're like, what was that? And then you have to go look up what it meant in order to make
Yeah.
sense of it. It's failed. Like
Yeah.
it has failed as a piece of art if you have to look up what it means in order to like if you have to hear the writer talk about, which you get film festivals, that's what you get is you
Yeah.
get someone involved in the film talking about why they made it and
Right.
what it means to them, and then you have context for the chaos that ensues in this film. And yeah, like looking at it through that lens, great, I can totally see that. But in
Has to stand on its own, though.
Yeah, it has to stand on its own. Like, it has to be an enjoyable movie outside of that. And then I didn't hate it as much as Josh hates it, but I didn't like it, and I'm sorry, because usually I try. I really try to,
I mean,
like,
you're
be
allowed
in
to
the
not
middle
like it.
ground. I know.
I
but,
don't like most of your
I
movies,
know.
so.
I don't. Yeah, so it's fine. But, like, I usually, but
We'll
then,
bring balance
but
in the universe probably with the next pick.
I can pretty much, like, count on one of you to like one of
Right.
the movies, and this one I feel bad for Aaron because he's kind of alone over there in team.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't talked much. I just want to let y'all vent, and I wanted to hear your reasoning.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to just curse every other word when I'm
Yeah.
talking about this movie. That's how much I hated it.
So it's really weird listening to you guys talk about what you hated about the movie because almost everything you hated, I liked. I felt like there were all kinds of character development in the characters. I felt like you learned something each time, and I felt like the scenes did go together. To me, it's you're learning about these people and how they're all connected, and also as far as like the youth part, you are learning, like you're seeing what kids go through at that age or whatever.
Yeah, and I lived through the digital age of Omegle, man, and like it's not done well.
Yeah.
Like I lived through like being in a group of girls, like on a video chat site, and some dude flashing his wiener. Like I'd like
that is newer.
It's not.
We're going back.
Like,
this is
like
instant messenger.
Yeah, but I've been in chat rooms too, like as a teenager.
Right.
Like I mean, I don't know, man.
But you were in chat rooms later on in life, and I feel like
no, probably not.
No, younger
Maybe.
than you probably.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Because
Okay,
think about
first
when
of all-
AOL was remember when AOL was a thing? Was when I was becoming a teenager.
I was on AIM for.
I was waiting for a long
I
time.
held on to that for a while.
Yeah, that was 13 for me.
Yeah. Well,
That,
I don't
you
know.
know,
For
like-
for me, that part felt realistic. I don't know if it's, and it could just be life experiences.
Like
I don't know.
It's not necessarily like the act of like the scene of the two boys like chatting online or whatever is like not accurate. It's that again, like it's like the things they say. It's like the little kid talking about, the pooping stuff, and it's
that
like
was the internet meme for a long time. I'm glad I finally know where that came from.
Oh, really? That was a meme? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I didn't know that. But like that, like nobody says that. Nobody's going to respond in that way. Like that's not how people talk. Or
I don't know. I've talked to some weird people, man.
well,
but that's what I say.
I don't know if
Maybe
that's the subject of a movie that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, some like little like what is he like 7?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's just
It's creepy that he meets her in the park and then like she kisses him anyway. Like it's just weird, man. Like
and like I just can't stand. I really can't stand her either. Like just the way she acts.
The
Miranda July. I keep wanting to say Julia, but it's July.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just like she never blinks in her face.
See, I absolutely
and her voice,
love her.
and
I feel like
can't.
She's trying to do Amelie, but isn't.
Yeah, or some like quirky like thing, but it's just it's flat. It just falls flat, and I can't stand her. I mean, John Hawkes is great. He's great in everything. I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh, John Hawkes." And I was like, "Why did I watch him?" He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. He's like
He
I
gets
watched that.
burned.
Yeah, he's the gas station attendant at the beginning of the movie, and I was like, "Oh man, I love him whenever he pops up." And he's great in this movie. Like, for what the material he's given, he's very good. I always like to see him pop up in movies.
Yeah,
but and it's like I don't blame any of the actors for. I blame the direction. I blame the script. I think the actors are doing as much as they can. But this is one of the whole movie just leaves me perplexed. I don't understand it. It has no recognizable traits of like this is a coherent movie.
Right. I will say I couldn't remember this movie. Which I mean, also I saw it 20 years ago, and I have a horrible memory. But as soon as it came on, I was like, "Oh, that's this movie."
Mhm.
So I did kind of know what I was getting into again just by the opening scene. Um, but all the time since I've seen it, it's just been one of those movies for me. Obviously, not for you guys, but for me, that has been burned in my head and as a movie that I loved. Like I said, I was worried about watching it again as an adult and seeing where it landed. But I was happy that I still loved it. I think, I mean, I don't know why I think so differently than you guys, because sometimes we're at least a little on track with each other, even if it's something that one of us doesn't like or something. Honestly, I was surprised at how much you hate it. But I think for me, it's just, I don't know. I like the movies like this. And like I said, for me, I felt like every scene flowed into the next. It made, it helped with the development of characters. I feel like every scene was needed. I know you didn't like the older guy with the teenagers, and you didn't like the way he was childish.
I didn't like any of it.
But well, yeah, but specifically that part, I think to me, I saw it as like he's a normal man that everybody sees as normal, and then he does have that side of him that's childish.
Well, then you need to explain that, like at some point, like just.
Well, I felt like they did by the just him
suddenly
young.
turning into like a child is not like. Wait,
but he was
wait,
off work.
does he have a developmental disorder? Does he have, like people don't just like suddenly shift
right
from like normal person going at work to going.
But then again, I mean, somebody that has something they want to hide usually do act normal. I mean, something like Ted Bundy.
I guess
Ted Bundy was charming, but he was also murdering people at the same time.
I kind of see that. I don't think it was done particularly successfully.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I can see what you're saying, and
Yeah.
I can see that being the goal. I just
right, and that's what I say. That's the difference. I mean, for some reason, I think this movie does exactly what it wanted to do perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'm not a technical movie person, so I don't know the
Well, I just mean
technical
like
stuff.
it's
But
like just breaking it down, like for him, like so you see him in the first scene at the shoe store,
mhm.
and then I feel like a little bit later, like he's coming home from work, and the two girls are there,
Mhm.
teenage girls, and there's no like lead up to it. You don't like what they could have done is like at the shoe store, like he could have like you could have inferred like a slight like a little glance of him at a younger girl or something, or like just a sudden shift like that doesn't work.
Yeah, I could see the glance working. I get what you're
like
saying.
in a because then it's just like wait what did he just say?
Well, to me,
and also like just the girl's response is like
yeah,
I can't see two what are they 15 6 something like that like high school girls in 2005 being like I don't know when did that like
unless,
not being like get the away from me
unless what I saw and the only thing that I saw that I thought that she was trying to portray and kind of did successfully is if the girl who is like the leader of the two was heavily sexually assaulted throughout her life.
Right.
That is the only, and I don't know that that's what she was going for, but that's the only way that situation makes sense. But again, we don't have that information.
Yeah.
So it just seems like a girl acting in a way that like doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
I could see that. And
yeah, like
and normally, this is what's really weird.
yeah.
Normally, when I talk about movies with you guys, I'm more of the I need to see it. I need to know what's going on. I don't want to be confused. For some reason, with this movie, I love that you don't have everyone's.
I guess you're just on her wavelength.
Yeah, maybe you just assume, those because that was my immediate assumption
movie.
when that girl was introduced. Is like, well, the only way that this character makes any sense is if that little girl has issues at home, like some kind of like pervasive abuse, where she is now using sexuality to like control, like, as a
Right.
control thing.
Well, then that
because every girl that I have known in my life, and it's a pedagogy thing that is hypersexual like that
Mm-hmm.
is
There's
something
for
there.
sure.
In the way that she is, because she's obviously like courting dangerous situations,
Right.
not like, and even like the instructions she gives to the younger guy about like how they're gonna do it, and
Yeah.
like just felt very much like
Sh-
she's someone who's been preyed upon,
Right.
and this is how she is like working through that is
Mhm.
by essentially preying upon someone else,
Right.
in like a
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
they're not a person in
Right.
this interaction. And I could totally see that. And
Mhm.
merit to that, I just wish that I wish that was hinted at.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it fails to be successful, is that everything feels like it's just coming at you and you don't have the story behind it, which
Yeah.
like,
I mean, if she wants to
Yeah.
talk about that, then talk about it.
yeah.
Don't sidestep it and just try
Right.
to put too much into your 95-minute movie
Mhm.
that just confuses the hell out of everybody and leaves just leaves you
Right.
like half empty or full empty.
Well,
for
and
me.
I think when you don't have the reasons, it just becomes, again, and I always have this issue when you're talking about like sexual assault, rape, things like that in a movie,
Mhm.
or in this case, pedophilia in a movie, when you don't make it clear that it is a negative, then you leave it open to the possibility of being a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so when you don't make it clear that that's creepy and is not okay,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
like all those things, then it like everybody just goes on with their life,
Right.
and that guy's still fine. Like,
Yeah.
then you
yeah.
leave it open to
I
being
think
like,
maybe
this
that's-
is yeah.
yeah.
And that once
Yeah.
again, that's what baffles me about this movie, and I'm learning something about myself because
Yeah.
no, I'm learning about myself in the way I watch movies.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, normally when I watch a movie, I do need it to be straight up with what it is. I don't want to guess. Like Mulholland Drive, I didn't like it because you didn't 100% know what was going on, or I didn't.
Mhm.
Just I like it to be there because I don't. A lot of times when I watch movies, I don't want to think.
Right.
With this movie, that is different than any other ones
Is
that
it
we've really
'cause
talked
it makes
about.
you have to in order for it to make sense.
I think so. It does make me think that, but also, and it might, once again, it can come back to life experiences. I've known a lot of different people in a lot of different social statuses, and have seen a lot of stuff like this.
Yeah.
So for me, it feels real, and I do feel like, in a way, and of course, this is just my opinion, but some of the stuff where you were talking about, it needs to be shown that it's not good,
Right.
that it is a bad thing. I feel that was done.
How?
Well, I mean, with the older guy, when they decide they're going to go in, they're going to go to his house. When he notices it's them, he hides. He knows right there. That he knows that it's wrong.
Right.
And I feel like that alone just it shows that he's battling with something, and I think that's the difference in him being at work, showing that he's a normal person, and then at home he's somebody different, and I think that makes sense of the quick switch, and then the fact that he eventually hides and knowing he did wrong, even by talking like he did, and also, I think the girls realize it's wrong. They take off running, and then with them talking online, I mean, they're going.
Yeah.
So the kids,
But it paints them as the aggressor when, like, what is actually happening to them is they were being groomed by that guy.
Yeah.
He was putting letters up in the window. He
Right.
was putting, like, I mean, so,
Yeah,
like,
he's
I feel like
He-
that's obvious, though. I feel like it's obvious he's being a groomer.
Yeah.
Maybe
but,
not.
But then he just suddenly acts like a child, like and it's like hiding behind.
I feel
Like,
like
it just doesn't.
and and then it like gets into a
those two
nebulous
things don't go together.
area of like, is he mentally handicapped?
Yeah, 'cause
like,
is
he slow, and
Well, I
that's why
think-
he's doing this, and then that doesn't make it okay, but it gets it in a weird place of like maybe he doesn't know right from like.
Yeah, but he's clearly not because
No, I
he's able to
don't-
compose himself at work.
right.
Yeah, and I
So
don't think it's a situation like that at all.
I don't think so, but that's the way he's acting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's acting like a mentally challenged person, like when they do something, like, you know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying.
Like and they just kind of like ball up and just hide.
yeah.
Like it's not. He's not. There's not like a sense of like guilt. It's just like, oh no, I'm scared. I'm just gonna hide.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's-
See,
you know,
I
like-
saw it differently.
Yeah.
I saw it as guilt and shame. So I saw it completely different. But
Maybe-
if
yeah.
you're looking at it that way, I can see what you're saying.
Well, that's
I mean, that
because
makes
that's
sense.
how he's acting. Like
Yeah.
that's all I've got to go on is how he's acting because the script's not telling me anything
Yeah.
else really. So it's really up to how she is directing the actors
Mhm.
to perform
For sure.
that is informing me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just creepy pedo guy and two teenage girls, and he's grooming them. And for some reason, the script is like they're not just, disgusted
Mhm.
and run away.
I've known plenty of people that wouldn't have.
Well, at 15, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of like that's a sad reality of.
I've
being
known
a
plenty of
teenage
people that would
girl.
have 100% taken that up.
Yeah, that's the sad
Okay.
reality of.
And that's
like,
what I say.
yeah.
Maybe that's what it is about this movie is life experiences and just stuff I've seen that makes this make sense to me.
I didn't need them to like run away. Like
Mhm.
I not like in that scene. Obviously, it's good that they did, but I was like, I didn't need them to immediately be disgusted by this guy. I thought that could have been an interesting exploration of like
Mhm.
what it is to be. Because there were lots and lots of teenage girls that like some 25-year-old guy like dating a
Sure.
17-year-old happens all the time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's disturbing, but it
Yeah.
happens.
But there's like some sort of a connection and a relationship.
right,
This
right.
guy, I feel like he just walks up to his house one day, and he's like, "Hey, two girls, what happened if you kiss?" You know,
Yeah.
and like there's no. Like, do they know each other? I'm assuming not. That would be weird.
Right,
If,
yeah.
like, some
I
guy-
don't think they know.
Like, if
him,
you're a
it's just
teenage
like
girl
weird.
and some
Right, yeah,
some
that's
big
weird.
guy comes up to you as you're just
Yeah.
standing there. I don't know. They're in his yard or something. I think
They're on the sidewalk.
on the
but he's in
sidewalk
his
or
yard.
whatever.
Yeah.
And some big guy like that. He's a big dude. Is like, hey, are you two like sisters? Would you like to kiss?
Yeah,
I can't. I
that-
mean, I
can't.
feel like it
I
leads
can't.
into it
I
a little
can't
bit.
see
but-
like the two teenage girls being like, oh yeah, I'm into this. Like what?
Well, I think
that's
this is also exploring a lot of teens that have issues. So
Right.
I feel like those two teens already have some issues going on in their life, and then with him switching, and it's more of the way I see it is it was like it was a moment of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that he plans to be a pedo, but obviously he's thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even in this case, it's not so much that he's trying to be a pedo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in that moment. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's an opportune moment in a way.
For him, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why, he has that switch, and then in his head, he's like, oh, okay, maybe. And then by the end of it, when they show up on his doorstep, he realizes, that's wrong. And that's where I get into him hiding. And then the girls running away and being happy. They're laughing as they run. I feel like that's them realizing they were also following something that could have been dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just I just see a lot in this movie that I guess isn't in it, and I didn't realize it wasn't in it because I'm not usually someone that adds stuff into movies.
Well, I feel like I think that might be it. I think you might like this movie because it makes you you fill in the blank. It gives you
Yeah.
like a frame to fill in the blanks, and you have to in order to not to follow it. And that is fine. Like,
Yeah.
but it's not enjoyable for. Weirdly, like not enjoyable for me. I like a
Right.
movie that makes you think, but I
Yeah.
like for it all to be there.
Yeah, I like.
Like-
I mean, like we talked about like Mulholland Drive, for instance, and like
Mhm.
I love Mulholland Drive. It's a puzzle and it's a dream and it's a nightmare and like it's okay that things
Right.
don't 100% make sense. Although the more you watch it, like it's pretty clear what's happening. But like, there's subtext there. The
Yeah.
character motivations are there. There are weird things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
but they fit together. And in this, I don't feel like anything. Like you have to lead people. You have to lead an audience to a certain extent. If you're making this, nothing's a dream, nothing's a nightmare. It's all based in like a reality.
Yeah.
Then it has to. You have to clue the audience in on where this is going to. So you don't have to give your hand, like show your hand all the way, but you have to lead them a little bit into what you're trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess it's the movie is so vague that I guess you know what I mean, you can like fill in the blanks. So
Yeah.
it is what you bring to it. I just brought
Not liking
and a rage and
Right.
I guess it made you feel something, and therefore
it did make me
it's
feel something. It made me
successful
feel
as a piece of
something
art.
like like I wanted to just break something. I don't
mean,
know.
And I
So
think
we've had 2 back-to-back that we like that have been like a one person being like, I love this, and like, but
Sure.
and they've both been art films, right? So like maybe we'll get, I don't know, Josh on something this next week or so. But like I feel like if we were to compare this to The Fall, it's like
Yeah.
there's a very
No, The Fall is like
like
Fall is competent and coherent. Like I have issues with it, but it makes sense. I mean, most of the issues are like, I mean, they're typical issues with
that
you
it
find
could
in a
have
movie.
been
Like
made better.
the pacing is a little
Yeah.
off in this scene, or some of this could be condensed, or
Right.
like, it's about like the production itself, like just how positives, or there's no CG like we talked about in the last one.
right.
They're using
Right.
beautiful locations.
I also feel
but-
like this did not have a lot of fun film making.
No, it's very flat, and like it looks like any like TV show from that time. Like it doesn't do anything particularly interesting with the camera work or lighting. It was shot on like a cheap digital camera.
Yeah. I
Most
feel
of the
like that was
clothes
on
are
purpose.
Miranda July's, and
Yeah.
I mean it's okay to make a movie that's like grounded in a reality. But even if we
You can
I
still
mean,
make a grounded film
it
well.
yeah, it doesn't really cost a lot of money to move the camera,
Yeah.
or to throw a light here, or some contrast here, like that those are generally pretty cheap. Even something like Corks, for instance, costs $27,000, shot on 16mm film, and like the staging is not great, but that movie has such a unique look. It's like grunge, and it feels like it was made by someone in a garage, because it kind of was. But that has a look all its own. This just feels like just any random independent movie or TV movie
Sure.
from the time.
I do feel like I said earlier, like she kind of looks like she's trying to be Amelie, and I feel like the filmmaking style feels like it was trying to be ripped from that.
Oh yeah,
But
if that's what they were trying for, boy, they failed.
Yeah, but I think like, but you know what I mean, like the way
Yeah.
it's disjointed, the way that like it's like
Is
we're
that a
gonna pop
movie?
This character from
Yeah,
it.
Amelie.
Okay.
Mhm. I figured
great
you
movie.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
a
no,
great movie.
Yeah, y'all been talking about it, and
that
the whole time
movie-
I didn't know
that
what it
movie's
was.
like very, kind of in line with like has a lot more in common with something like The Fall. Like it's very visually
It's beautiful.
sumptuous, and like the camera work is very flowing, and
But I can
it's-
see like it's
that quirky
the
kinda-
influence here
yeah.
is maybe that like because I feel like I don't know what the timeline is, but she's a young filmmaker in here.
yeah, Amelie was like would have been I think 2000 or 2001, so it
Yeah.
was a few years before.
A few years before, maybe just saw that and was
Maybe.
like, I like that.
Right.
How do I make a movie about a couple falling and like getting past their trauma and falling, like it's just there's some like
Yeah.
distinct similar, and then weave in these external stories which
Are
Amelie
very
does well.
external.
Are very external in this case. And I feel like because I feel like her acting and her look and everything that she is doing
Yeah.
feels like trying to be Audrey Tattoo, but she just doesn't have it.
Well, I mean, Audrey Tattoo and Amelie is like,
Yeah.
she's quirky and
Yeah.
cute and funny, and like it. it's appealing.
Yes.
She's appealing, and like I want to spend more time with her.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
We
But
should,
it's a really good movie.
That would be a good one.
I haven't watched it.
If the next
haven't
movie
out.
draws the stinker, we should watch Amelie
Yeah.
instead. You'd like it. It's an independent film, but it's like
Yeah, it's a French film. It's very French.
it's very French.
It's just this cute little like kind of like
It's a romantic
comedy, but it's
Yeah.
very imaginative and beautiful and quirky and funny. I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Well, not talking about that movie. Circling back to a point I was trying to make earlier.
Sorry.
No, I want to
With-
talk about Amelie.
With me kind of just with this movie, I think what surprises me the most between how we all see it is that I added stuff in.
Mhm.
I think in my head that just came so naturally that when you guys are discussing it and like it's missing this, it's missing that, it's missing this, I see it now that you're talking about it like, oh, okay. But when I watched that movie, I felt like it had all that.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize I was just adding that in, I don't think.
Yeah.
I guess so. It ain't there.
Because I felt like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved every story that is tied in. I thought it all made sense. I thought the way people behaved in those instances made sense to me. I could see the reasoning.
I can
Of the
rationalize
way-
all of it except for the dialogue, which is stupid.
Yeah, I
Like-
hate the dialogue. Like, it's just
So-
people don't talk like that.
Yeah.
And you could say like, well, I'll just go back to Clerks. Like people don't really talk like that either. Too much. Like it's heightened.
Yeah.
But like people really don't talk like this.
No.
Like just the way that
See, I just don't see that.
the way like their first like little like when they're John Hawkes and Miranda July are walking down the street. Like what? This is really trying to. This is what the Amelie thing. Like it's really trying to be funny and quirky and clever. But they just come off as like two weirdos that have just now learned how to talk.
Like and like that yes, okay, people do talk like that, but they're art students trying to get laid. And like
I mean, that's exactly what she is.
They're not art. I mean, well, I guess
yeah,
she
but
is.
he's not.
He's just he's
awkward.
He's Al Bundy. Okay,
Yeah.
Like
I can see Al Bundy lighting his hand on fire and be like, "Oh no, that's not
Right.
alcohol."
right. And so like
Also, that's just really stupid. I don't buy anybody actually like doing that like on purpose.
Man, people.
I think you're underestimating or overestimating the intelligence
Maybe I
of
have
the
more
average
faith in
person.
humanity that you
Yeah.
can see that this
I
is
think
lighter
you-
fluid and not rubbing alcohol.
I think you do.
I think
Because once again, I've known somebody
Because those are in
that did that.
two completely different bottles.
right. I think you're overestimating some things. And that's fine.
My
I
faith
mean,
in humanity is shaken by this movie.
Yeah, it should be, I think, because
like,
humanity is wild.
I didn't have an issue with that, but I did have an issue with yes. The issue is that everyone talks like an art
Yeah,
student just learning to
exactly.
talk. Like everyone's lines are what you read in a college creative writing course.
Yep.
Okay.
And I just it's very far up its own ass.
Yeah.
And like that's the
Yeah, it is.
that's the thing that
It-
irks me about it.
It
Like,
reminded me a lot of I Saw the TV Glow, which I don't think either of you have seen.
I
yet.
tried and I
No, you
quit.
told me it was
But like
bad.
everybody talks the same way.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of like mumble talks and this like really serious. And, I'm being really pretentious right now. Did you ever, stuff like that? And it's like everybody in this movie talks the same way,
Yeah.
same style, same like cadence.
And it's like, and if nothing else, if this movie was competently made, that would turn me off just because I have lived with that being my circle, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, because they're not the same
Like, you
characters,
know.
and like when you're if you're a good writer, like you find the character in the voice,
mhm.
and and in this case, like you're making a movie, like the actors should have,
Individual voice.
yeah, not just I mean, in the dialogue, but just in the way they talk.
Mhm.
They all just sound like Miranda July.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like it feels like one person is voicing everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Just with their own voices, and that's weird to me. Like, I mean, unless you're doing something like this
Doing a
all
one-man
takes
show is
place
great.
inside of
Right.
someone's head. Like that's
For sure.
okay, but like this is I don't know, Aaron. I tried.
No,
I really did
and
too.
I really can see.
yeah, you watched
the-
it twice.
I
Like, go you.
I can see the ways that I can totally see where if you fill it all in your head
hmm
when you're watching it, sure, like there's stuff there to infer.
hmm
I think if we're making a movie, it needs to be there in
Yeah.
some way, so that the inferences can be consistent.
hmm
Because if your inferences are not consistent, then you haven't said anything at all.
Yep.
Like if you put something out there and everyone comes away with a different idea and those ideas don't share a central theme,
hmm
then you've done nothing.
Yeah.
You
I mean, I
just
get what
you
you're
just
saying.
put something out there, and that's the pretentious art student in me saying this now, where it's like if you have to go out and explain your piece
Right.
in order for people to feel it the way you want them to feel it, the explanation can totally improve upon a piece. That's why we do
Sure.
stuff like this, because explaining why we like something makes it better for
yeah,
other people. But if you can't look at something and you don't feel it, then you just don't feel it, and that piece doesn't work for you.
Right.
If multiple people come away from something and they're like, I don't get it, so therefore I must make up a reason why it hits for me,
Yeah.
then I guess you've succeeded in making people think, but I don't think that's a successful piece of
And
art.
this is why, like if you made a movie and you finish it, you screen it for like friends,
Right.
Or
Test audiences.
Yeah. For
not
sure.
necessarily like test. I mean, to like on a big movie,
Yeah.
sure, like they're gonna test it, just to see like, and like the questions. Some of the questions will be like, did you understand what happened? Did you understand the plot? Did you understand this twist? And if people were saying, "Oh no, I didn't like that. That kind of came out of left field. I don't really that
Right.
wasn't clear or this or that." But if you just like show it to friends or family, or say you're a director and you show it to another director who's a friend or something, who had no involvement in the production,
Mhm.
so I feel like she just showed it to the actors and everyone who was involved, and of course they're gonna kind of get what she's after
Yeah.
because they were with her.
Or she showed it to a room of me.
I mean, apparently maybe she just writes Aaron.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And that.
Or maybe her circle is that. So within
Right,
her
yeah.
circle of people, this movie makes perfect sense,
Right.
right? Like if she had, like, everyone lives in their echo chamber, right?
Yeah.
So if in your echo chamber this makes sense, then it's really hard to like it. But you have to find a friend that likes you enough not to tell you that what you
Right.
made is not good.
And
And anybody listening, I will be that friend.
yeah. I think that's what's great about this podcast, and us discussing movies like this. It's just, of course, we can have different opinions, and being able to see how you guys saw it is interesting to me, because for me, it's great. It's done exactly how I would want it done. It tells me exactly what I need to know. And I mean, I could break down scene by scene. For some reason, this is a movie that I could talk about. Like, I can break down every scene.
I mean, we can leave the room. We can just let you run.
I'm not gonna
we
do
can have
that.
a bonus episode.
I'm not going to do
I'll
that.
cue the movie up. You record a commentary for it.
Yeah.
But this is a movie, and I feel like there's not a lot of these that I feel this way about.
Yeah.
That I could break it down for you scene by scene, exactly what I feel like it means and why it's all there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that
Thank you.
today.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
then it
I
was
did just pick the one
successful.
scene to try to explain,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's interesting when there's such opposites. I knew you had some issues with it.
Yeah.
I thought you would maybe hate it,
No, you don't know me well
but
enough.
I didn't think you would despise it.
I wanted the feeling I have
Mhm.
when watching this, and that is taking like every fiber of my being to not do it, is to like do a Sam Kinison scream,
Mm-hmm.
just go like
Yeah.
just
I
That's interesting.
I hated this movie.
And it was one of the few times that he has been so viscerally moved by a movie that he had to
Right.
talk about it before we got to the podcast.
Yeah, I had to. Be,
He came over and was like, "Good luck,"
I
and
think
I was like, "Okay."
that's another thing I liked is sometimes when you don't like a movie, you don't have a lot to say about it.
But you have a
You
lot
just
to say.
No, I
don't like it. But this time you have a lot to say.
Well,
and it is eye-opening to hear that.
I mean, usually if it's like I don't like a movie, it's like, oh well, this is a it's
Bad movie.
Zac Efron. It's not that they're necessarily bad; they're just kind
Right.
of run of the mill.
Right.
You know, like Tammy was, I hated that movie. It was just unappealing in every way.
Right.
But I guess it still feels like a movie, just a really dumb
Mm-hmm.
movie, or like 17 Again or whatever. But
Any movie I've shown.
I feel like there's like a ton to talk about there. It's like, yeah, it's a stupid movie. I don't
Right.
like the characters. I feel like she's really just crass and unfunny, and
Yeah.
I don't. It's not for me. Whereas this one is fundamentally just like broke me,
Mm-hmm.
and because I can find a lot to love in a movie.
Right.
But I don't. I mean,
You
oh,
didn't
that
find
performance is really good, or that shot.
Right.
Or this sequence is good. Like, there's usually something stand out in the movie, or even something garbage like Troll 2 or,
yeah.
Miami Connection. Like, there's a lot of fun
Oh
to
my
be
gosh.
had.
Right.
Miami Connection's great if you never look it
I
up,
have not
people.
seen that.
It's like it's Miami Vice, but like
Bad.
Miami Vice in the Room,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Okay.
Samurai Cop. There's fun to be had in this, but this one just there's no fun, no. Like just the basic tenets of filmmaking, of screenwriting, just fall flat.
Yeah.
And it failed in every single possible way for me.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I said. I like that. I mean,
I don't think you've hated one of my movies as much as I hated this movie.
I don't think so. I don't know. I really did not like Mulholland Drive, but I think it's just neat because it is one that we actually could have a discussion about.
Yeah.
And even I had something to say, because sometimes when you guys come in and you don't like a movie, I don't have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And it more just hurts my feelings, like Crossroads and
We were both
Coyote
con-
Ugly and
We were both
Tammy.
concerned, I think, about coming in and just being like, "Eh,
Yeah, but
I'll let you."
I didn't feel like it was that at all.
It's
I
like
felt
split
like
pea soup straight at Aaron.
Well, I mean, I was interested to know why you liked it.
Yeah,
Why you
I
still
couldn't-
did like it.
I was
Like,
watching
mean,
this like, what the hell does Aaron see in this movie?
well, I hope I explained it a little bit.
did. I mean, I can totally see. I can see why if you put in all of the effort, all of the mental effort to consume this piece, and then make it make sense to yourself,
Mhm.
which is necessary in order to enjoy
You're
it.
just
I
lying
think.
to yourself.
I can see then liking it because,
Yeah.
like, it is basically at this point you have had some hand in creating this piece of art.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't exist on its own.
Right.
Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't think it's there. But there is something to be said for inference, and if it has made you infer all of these things in order to make it connect to each other, then I guess you would have to love it because
Yeah.
you have made half of it. I think we've discovered why this movie works for some people and absolutely doesn't work for
Yeah.
others. Is that, like, maybe that's it? Maybe maybe it has the same appeal that, like, a lot of abstract art does, which I like some abstract art. It makes me feel things.
Mhm.
But there is artistic merit there where someone has studied color theory and shapes and found a way to make you feel things via, like, using that.
Yeah, like sometimes like the raw emotion can come out.
Can come
on
out.
the canvas or on the film.
in a way that isn't prescriptive, right? But
Yeah.
like in this, I guess it feels kind of like an abstract art piece as a movie, but like a student one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, this is not an abstract art piece for by a master. It's
Right.
This is a film student film.
I mean, she
But it
clearly
feels
got
like-
better too. Because
Yeah.
there was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
I do want
I
to.
did want to murder people in that movie too. So
I mean-
maybe that's
Yeah.
just an issue with me.
This was
Yeah.
very early in her career too. Like, this is her first movie, so
It is,
like
it is. Yeah.
there's some past there
It
for it feeling like student film, but feels like student.
It should have stayed as a student film.
Now, I guess we'll wrap that up, so that I don't keep on rambling.
Okay.
And we'll do that by picking a movie for next time around in our incredible machine here.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's yours.
Was it in my pick? Hold on, let me
I
see if
think
it's
so.
purple pen. Yeah, probably. Yep, that's
It's
me.
not mine. I've never seen it.
Okay, I'm really excited.
I know of the film and I know things about the film, but this is actually one I've always wanted to
Okay.
watch.
I think you'll like it.
Oh,
Never
hopefully
have.
you'll like it. It is Guillermo del Toro, who I just think he makes really beautiful movies.
Is this the creature with the eyes in his hand?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of it. And yeah, we're like, I don't want to give away too much. It's a horror film and a fairy tale,
Yeah.
kind of.
Is this with
set-
David Bowie?
No, that's Labyrinth.
That's Labyrinth. That's a different movie.
That's
I get those so confused.
Those are totally different movies.
Very
Well,
different, yeah.
they're both called Labyrinth.
Oh well,
No, well, one has pans in front of it,
yeah, one's Pan's
Okay.
Labyrinth.
and they're also like 20 years apart.
Pan being the goat, like the goat god from like Greek. Anyway, so
Anyways, I definitely thought they were the same movie.
no, not the same movie
No.
at all.
Very
Pan's Labyrinth is definitely far more like while there are scary parts of Labyrinth, this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's rated
and
R. It's not aimed at kids.
It's not aimed at kids. It's R-rated. It's horror.
That's funny because I always thought it was a kids movie.
And it takes it's there's definitely like a fantasy element, but it also is taking place in the backdrop of like a war of some sort. And I don't remember the exact details because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Well,
but I'm excited to watch it
I
again.
guess you'll learn them again.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since it came out. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited. Like I said, it's well, I thought two movies were one, but it has been a movie that I've wanted
Well,
to
now
see.
I just want to like intercut some dance magic dance.
Wait, can we double
when it brings
feature?
its eyes out, dance magic.
Can we double feature?
Well, we'll talk about it on the next episode.
All right.
So,
I guess join us next time.
yeah. So join us next time for double feature, which we haven't done in a little while.
No.
Yeah.
Labyrinth and Pan's Labyrinth. Very different movies, I'm hearing, but I thought they were the same movie. So I'm kind of interested to watch them and discuss both of them. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be something.
It'll be something.
So join us next time for that. Until then, I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Toby.
and this has been The Real Opposites.